Do you know what the law of attraction really is? Most people, when they hear the phrase, immediately think of something simple. You just need to want something. Keep repeating it in your mind, and then the universe will deliver it to you. As if some generous cosmos is sitting behind the curtain, taking your orders. But here's a simple question. If the law of attraction really worked this way, why are millions of people, despite all their wishes, prayers, and positive affirmations, still trapped in poverty, illness, or loneliness? Why is it that someone who repeats every day, "I am wealthy," often struggles even to pay the rent? This is where we must pause and ask, what is the law of attraction really? Where did it come from? Why has it been distorted so much? And why have we only heard the shallow, commercialized version of it? What follows is a very different picture, a journey into Stoic philosophy and the teachings of the Buddha, where the essence of the law of attraction was expressed thousands of years ago in a deeper form. A look at the modern intellectual movements of the 19th and 20th centuries that reshaped the concept. And then a scientific lens, psychology and neuroscience, showing why the mind's focus can shape reality, not through magic, but through the mechanisms of the brain and behavior. This introduction makes one thing clear. If you still believe the law of attraction means simply wishing and waiting, you are deeply mistaken. The truth is both simpler and more profound, and it is precisely this truth that most people don't want to hear. Part 2. The shallow understanding of the law of attraction. For most people, when they hear the phrase law of attraction, only one idea comes to mind. All you need to do is want something. Picture it in your mind over and over, and the universe will deliver it like a parcel left at your doorstep. This is why, in popular culture, the law of attraction is often reduced to nothing more than a kind of positive thinking magic. Books and seminars tell people, say every day, "I am successful, I am wealthy, I am happy," and the universe will hear you. But in real life, this version of the law of attraction looks more like a childish fantasy. Wealth by affirmation only. A person wants to be rich. Every day they stand in front of the mirror and repeat, "I am wealthy," but they learn no new skills, make no changes in their work, and continue to mismanage their money. What happens? Nothing changes. Their finances remain exactly the same. Health without lifestyle change. Someone says, "I am healthy, my body is strong," but they smoke, eat poorly, and never exercise. Does repeating words protect them from illness? Clearly not. Relationships without behavior change. Another person repeats daily, "Everybody loves me." But in everyday interactions, they are cold, rude, or inattentive. The outcome? People distance themselves, exactly what they feared. And with examples like these, we can see why the common interpretation of the law of attraction fails so badly. It turns people passive, waiting for miracles instead of making changes. And when nothing happens, they often blame themselves. "I must not have thought the right way." This shallow view hides the deeper truth. The real law of attraction is not about magic or wishful thinking. It is about how focus, belief, and consistent action shape the reality we experience. Part 3. A complete and accurate definition of the law of attraction. Most people think the law of attraction means simply wanting something, repeating positive words, and waiting for a miracle to happen. But the truth is very different. The real law of attraction means your focus and your beliefs shape your choices, your actions, and ultimately the results you experience, not magically, but through the way your mind filters the world and guides your behavior. This process rests on 3 key elements. 1. Mental focus. The mind works like a filter. Whatever you focus on most becomes more visible and noticeable in your surroundings. Focus is not just about what you see. It changes the kinds of questions you ask yourself and the world. Someone who constantly focuses on failure sees threats everywhere. Someone who focuses on growth and solutions notices opportunities faster. Clear focus makes resources, people, and paths toward your goal easier to recognize, not because the world changes, but because your perception does. 2. Inner belief. Beliefs act like hidden commands in the subconscious. They determine where you take action and where you hold back. A constructive belief fuels motivation and energy to start and continue. A destructive belief kills initiative before it even begins. A solid belief does not guarantee success, but it guarantees that you will start, and that you will keep moving until improvement becomes possible. 3. Aligned and consistent action. Without action, focus and belief mean nothing. Action must align with the goal, not scattered, not random. It must be consistent, not a short burst, but steady rhythm. Real change is built from small but regular steps. The difference between the law of attraction and daydreaming. Here's where the boundary must be clear. Law of attraction, thought, belief plus aligned action, change in results. Daydreaming, thought without action. In the law of attraction, failure is feedback, a signal to adjust. In daydreaming, failure becomes a sign that the universe did not respond, or I didn't attract it well enough. This is the trap many fall into. They think the law of attraction failed, when in fact they never practiced it correctly at all. 3 scenarios. Person 1 constantly repeats, I will fail. Result, stress, mistakes, and eventually the very failure they feared. Person 2 believes success is possible, focuses on it, plans carefully, and takes small but steady steps. Result, the chance of success multiplies. Person 3, the common mistake, says, I will succeed but does no planning, no real effort. Result, failure. And afterward they blame themselves, I didn't attract properly. This is not the law of attraction. This is pure fantasy. The consequences of shallow thinking. When the law of attraction is reduced to a shallow, commercial slogan, 3 dangers appear. 1. Toxic positivity, ignoring real problems and obstacles. 2. Victim blaming. When results don't appear, the person blames themselves for not thinking correctly. 3. Inaction, hiding behind affirmations with no actual change in behavior. A practical 7-day exercise to truly experience the law of attraction in action, not as wishful thinking, but as a tool. Here is a simple 7-day practice that anyone can use. Day 1, write down one clear, measurable goal. Define 3 small daily steps toward it. Day 2, spend 20 minutes with no distractions focusing only on that goal. Do one related task. Day 3, identify one likely obstacle, write an if-then solution for it. Day 4, find 3 pieces of evidence from your past or present that prove you are capable of change. Day 5, review your progress. What did you learn today? Where did you get stuck? And what will you do differently tomorrow? Day 6, redesign your environment. Remove distractions, add tools or reminders that help you stay on track. Day 7, reflect. What changed in 1 week? What should continue into the next? The real law of attraction is not magic. It is a mirror that shows how your focus, your beliefs, and your actions combine to shape the life you live. If those 3 work together, results follow. If they remain only in your imagination, frustration is all that will remain. Part 4. The philosophical roots of the law of attraction. Looking back through history, what we now call the law of attraction can be traced to much deeper philosophical traditions, systems of thought where the mind and its judgments were seen as the true source of human experience. The Stoics. The Stoics of ancient Greece and Rome believed that our thoughts shape the quality of our lives. They never spoke of the universe as a magical provider, but they described the very principle behind the modern law of attraction. What you hold in your mind gives meaning to the world around you. Epictetus, 50–135 CE. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This makes it clear that the origin of suffering or peace is not external reality, but the lens of the mind. Marcus Aurelius, 121–180 CE. In his Meditations, he wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This reflects exactly the same insight as the modern law of attraction. Your inner thoughts shape both your inner state and your outer reality. Seneca, 4 BCE to 65 CE, warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Here he highlights how mental focus on fear makes fear more real and directs the course of life. In Stoic philosophy, the world is a mirror of our thoughts. A disciplined and constructive mind creates a calmer, more effective life. A chaotic or negative mind generates confusion and suffering. Buddhism. In Buddhism as well, the mind is seen as the origin of all experience. In the ancient text, the Dhammapada, attributed to the Buddha, it is written, "We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts we make the world." Buddhist teachings emphasize that human thoughts and intentions shape karma. Positive thoughts and wholesome intentions lead to positive actions and outcomes. Thoughts poisoned by hatred and greed manifest as suffering. The crucial difference from today's shallow interpretations is that in Buddhism, positive thinking without right action has no value. The mind must be trained, meditation must be practiced, and conduct must align with pure intention. The Buddha warned that the outer world is nothing but a reflection of the inner mind. If we want the world outside to change, we must first transform the world within. Summary of this section. The law of attraction is not an invention of the 21st century, nor the product of self-help marketing. Centuries ago, Stoic philosophers and Buddhist teachers were pointing to the same truth: the mind creates the quality of life. The essential difference, however, is that they always emphasized practice, discipline, and real change, never mere wishful repetition of desires. Part 5. The modern roots of the law of attraction. What we now call the law of attraction is not only a product of ancient philosophy. In the modern era, the idea was reshaped within new intellectual movements and slowly moved from philosophy into mainstream culture. The New Thought movement, 19th century. In the United States, a movement known as New Thought emerged. Thinkers such as Phineas Quimby, William Walker Atkinson, and later Wallace Wattles believed that the mind holds creative power. They argued that if thoughts are directed with focus and conviction, they can influence the external conditions of life. This movement created a bridge between ancient philosophical insights and early psychology. The idea that the mind creates reality entered the language of personal success and self-improvement through New Thought. Napoleon Hill, 20th century. In 1937, Napoleon Hill published his famous book, Think and Grow Rich. He wrote, "A man becomes what he thinks about most of the time." By collecting the experiences of leading entrepreneurs of his era, Hill showed how belief and mental focus played a decisive role in financial and personal success. The book sold tens of millions of copies and became one of the pillars of 20th century success literature. Rhonda Byrne and The Secret, 21st century. In 2006, Rhonda Byrne released The Secret as both a book and a film. She popularized the message: ask, believe, receive. Think about what you want, and the universe will deliver it. The Secret became an international phenomenon, selling millions of copies and reaching millions of viewers worldwide. For many people, this was their first encounter with the law of attraction. But at the same time, this work presented the law in a shallow and exaggerated form. It was marketed almost like a child's magic trick rather than a serious psychological process. Summary of this section. In becoming modern, the law of attraction moved from philosophy into self-help literature and then to popular culture. But in this transition, much of its depth was lost. What began in the 19th and 20th centuries as an attempt to connect mind and action was, in the 21st century, reduced to a commercial slogan: think it and you will attract it. And it is here that the great gap appeared between the real essence of the law of attraction and the superficial version most people now believe. Part 6. The scientific and psychological view of the law of attraction. When we separate the law of attraction from motivational slogans and shallow interpretations, one truth becomes clear: the human mind is a powerful tool that can change the course of our lives, not through magic, but through real mechanisms of the brain and psychology. Selective attention. The human mind cannot process all the data around it. Every moment, thousands of stimuli compete for attention, but the brain selects only a fraction to enter awareness. When you think about something specific, you suddenly notice it everywhere. Simple example: when you decide to buy a certain car, you start seeing that car on the streets all the time. This isn't magic. It is the filtering function of the mind that turns your focus into your lived reality. The reticular activating system, RAS. Inside the brain lies a structure called the reticular activating system. Its role is to determine which external information reaches your awareness. Your thoughts and beliefs tune your RAS. If you constantly think about failure, the RAS seeks evidence of failure. If you focus on success, the RAS highlights opportunities and signals that match that belief. The self-fulfilling prophecy: beliefs can turn into reality, not through miracles, but through behavior. Someone who believes nobody likes me unconsciously acts cold or distant, pushing people away, and thus confirms their belief. Someone who believes I can succeed shows confidence, which attracts support and opportunities that reinforce success. The placebo effect medicine shows that belief in a treatment can create real physiological change, even if the treatment is inactive. The mind builds a belief and the body responds with genuine results. The law of attraction works in the same way. Your belief influences your behavior and even your physical state. Summary of this section. Psychology and neuroscience reveal that the law of attraction has never been about magic. Thoughts shift our mental filters. Beliefs shape our behaviors. Behaviors create results. This process has been confirmed in countless scientific studies. And for this reason, when understood correctly, the law of attraction can be a powerful tool for real and lasting change. Part 7. Conclusion. The law of attraction is far more than a slogan or a piece of commercialized magic. From the Stoics and the Buddha, to the New Thought movement, to Napoleon Hill, and finally to modern psychology and neuroscience, one consistent truth has echoed through the centuries. The human mind is the primary filter of human experience. If your mind is filled with fear and failure, that is what you will see. That is what you will build, and that is what you will live. If your mind is centered on possibilities and growth, and that belief flows into your actions, the course of your life will transform. What the law of attraction is not, it is not magic. It is not a shortcut. It is not a substitute for effort, knowledge, or discipline. What the law of attraction is, it is a tool for shaping perception and decision. It is a bridge between thought and reality. It is a cycle that begins with focus, strengthens through belief, and manifests through action. The value of a correct understanding. When you understand the law of attraction correctly, you are no longer trapped by empty positive thinking. You no longer blame yourself for failing to attract. You recognize that the universe is not waiting for your orders. It is your mind and your actions that determine how you move within it. Final message. The law of attraction is a mirror that relentlessly reflects what you cultivate within yourself. If you harbor distraction, fear, and empty fantasy, that is what appears outside. If you cultivate focus, constructive belief, and consistent action, that is what takes shape in reality. This law is not the secret of the cosmos and not a personal magic spell. It is the same truth that philosophers, sages, and scientists have expressed in their own language. Your life is nothing more than the ongoing reflection of your mind. What you've just heard was not theory for its own sake, but a tool to look again at yourself and at life. Change your mind, and your world changes. This was FactUp, a space for deeper questions and real answers. Until the next video, keep thinking.